This is Rimac's newest hypercar, and under this cover is the world's fastest accelerating production car ever built. So let's not keep you waiting and pull the cover. Oh my God! This is Rimac's Nevera R. This is Facundo, the lead exterior designer of the newest Nevera R. And in this video, we're gonna show you all the specs, all the details, the record-breaking stats, the exterior and interior of the car, and we're also gonna go for a drive in downtown LA. I'm gonna show you guys the handling. We're gonna take it on a quarter mile and really rip this car and see what it can do.
You wanted to say something?
We're not driving it.
Wait, we're not driving it?
I would.
No?
I was thinking.
Okay.
I was like, okay. Because last time she drove the car, she like did some serious donuts.
Oh yeah. I want to talk about some specs. 2,107 horsepower, a 0 to 60 in 1.74, a quarter mile time of 8:23, a top speed of 256. This is also the first production car from 0 to 186 to do a sub 9. The specs are insane. 21-inch rear wheels, a staggered set with Michelin Cup 2 tires, the all-new Evo 2 brakes with better cooling, new design and aerodynamic package, and lots of Easter eggs. So this is the aggressive alter ego to the Nevera.
Yes. For start, we can start by the name. R is based on the three new pillars of the company. That is radical, rebellious, and relentless.
There's a nice balance of body paint color as well as carbon fiber. It's really interesting that you guys decided to go larger with the rear tires, now being a 21-inch in the rear with stickier tires.
For that reason, or one feature that we introduced on the car, we have a wing here and a wing here that is creating also downforce. One Easter egg that we have changed the graphic on the side, the DLO. Before the Nevera was finishing here, we extended the graphic to the charging port lid, and right now it's part of the graphic and is hidden. No?
Everything's functional, that's carbon fiber. This is the car that's going to be revealed worldwide this week.
And what you see in here is what you will get as a production. This car is completely production right now.
If you're like me and you want to be owning a hypercar of your own, but you can't afford new hypercar prices, then you might be looking at used hypercars. And if you're looking at used hypercars, then a vehicle history report is what you need. I would love to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Car Vertical. And before I tell you why, I just want to say I'm so grateful of Car Vertical. You guys, they've been sponsoring the channel for a very long time now, and I appreciate their support. And of course, they have an amazing car history service. Car Vertical is the go-to site or app to get a vehicle history report with access to global vehicle history data in 28 countries. So not only is Car Vertical the most complete vehicle history you can get before you buy, it is super easy to use. With their new website and app available, it's never been simpler to see the history of your next vehicle. I don't buy any car without getting a vehicle history report when I can, and you shouldn't either. My last big purchase was my Aventador, and of course, you know I had to pull the vehicle history report. Knowing this information before buying is worth its weight in gold. Before working with Nissan, I almost bought my own Nissan Z, and I was pulling a vehicle history report on one recently, and there's history. Now, I didn't mind the idea of buying a crashed one, but this vehicle has been damaged 2 times. Now, it's very common for people to buy wrecked cars, to rebuild them, to then sell them, and you never fully understand the back history of it. The cool thing about Car Vertical is you can actually see previous photos of it. So it's an absolute must to research any car before you go and buy it, and Car Vertical makes it easier and cheaper than ever. And plus, for my subscribers, they are offering a 20% discount when you use my code Amelia at checkout or hitting the link in the description below. Now, let's get back to an insanely absurd hypercar. With me is Chief Test and Development Driver Miro with Bugatti and Rimac.
Hi, hello.
This is the key.
That's the key, yes. And it's all done in-house, so it's very unique to any other car. So all the interior of the car is very unique, so you won't see any, let's say, takeover components from other groups. The lower part is where the screen is, where the adjustments are for your seat, for your steering wheel position and all these things. And the upper part is analog and tactile, so when you start driving, you don't have to take your eyes off the road at all. Let's start the car. Just to show you.
Start the car. I do love how analog everything is while also it being electric. Like the seats are electric.
Yes.
I know that sounds ridiculous, but a lot of manufacturers will go to a manual seat and manual everything because of the weight reduction. But you guys, this is the fastest accelerating production car in the world, and it's still got electric seats. So this is kind of cool. Foot on the brake.
Yes. And then on the left side, you just push on the knob on the screen. Yes. Just one push. And that's it. So we are live.
And then we have some switches here. This is for stability, and then this is for powertrain. I like this one.
So these are the drive modes. So we have the range, the cruise, sport, track, and drift mode, of course.
So if they just roll up the gate, we can go out right now and...
We could.
You're like, we could, but we're not.
No, but I trust you. This could be done. You're already shown that you can do it.
Before I show the powertrain though, this car has an improved drift mode because of the stance, because of the stickier tires. What improvements have you made in order for this to be more driftable?
The Nevera R is on Cup 2 tires, so unlike the PS4S tires on the Nevera, these have more cornering ability. So the cornering stiffness of the front and the rear went up. And as you know, when the cornering stiffness goes up, when you have more grip, the car starts to be a little bit more twitchy. So it starts to be a bit more nervous. And to avoid that, we gave a little bit more freedom to the rear powertrain. We increased the power a bit, increased the wheel spin, so you can drive the car sideways a bit easier.
So it can power through the stickier tires, essentially.
Exactly, exactly. So if you find yourself driving this car on a B road and it starts raining or the temperature goes down, you'll still be completely fine.
This knob is how you adjust the bias in the powertrain. So if you want front power, you can turn that down to whatever you want. If you would like rear, so let's do 100% rear, and then we will do 0% front.
You can do that. So
honestly, even like 20% front sounds nice.
Yeah. In each of the modes, you can adjust these things, and of course you have 2 modes that you can customize your settings and save them. So you can switch off ESC, you can switch off torque vectoring, you can put it on a little bit more aggressive setup or less aggressive setups.
I also love that the passenger gets to see the lateral G's, the speed, and the longitudinal G's.
Well, depending on how brave the passenger is, you can change these things. So you can, for example, if you put the G-force, it's okay. If he's afraid of the speed readout, you can change it, and you can put like it's a power output, average consumption, or whatever. So
or navigation, because the passenger is supposed to be navigating, right?
Exactly. And then they know how much remaining driving distance they have until next time you crank the steering wheel and go sideways.
This car has an MSRP of 2.3 million euro. That's $2.5 million, or 255,000 payments of $9.99, which would equate to 20,000 years. So if you can get a bank to loan you the money, here you go, baby. Or you can use code Ecrew at checkout, and maybe we'll lower it to 10,000 years. And I said there's 40 available, but I'm pretty sure there's only gonna be 39, right?
Are you buying this one?
Well, one's just going to me, yeah?
Okay.
Last time we were together, the world record for the quarter mile time of the Nevera was set. I'm really excited to see what this will do in the quarter mile. I know for the Nevera that you guys over projected the numbers and it ended up doing an 866. I want this to do 7s, and I think that would be such an incredible feat. I feel like I can say that.
We always say that the way that you know that you had a good launch with this car is you get a facelift a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you literally feel your halfway face the Formula.
The cheek to the ears. It's like when you're launching to space.
Yeah.
The biggest difference though of this versus the Nevera is that this is more built for cornering. So there is substantially more aero, which means more downforce, which means slower speed. So it'll be interesting to see the time. I'm really excited for it. but there are a lot of performance differences. Obviously, you can change the bias in the rear. You have over 2,000 horsepower. This car is so impressive as it is, especially for the price point comparing to other cars that are out there. What is your favorite feature on the Nevera R?
We are using different tires, but the cornering stiffness of the front and rear went up, so the car is a bit more capable. If you want to enjoy yourself, this is probably one of the fastest cars out there, providing of course that you can use the power and you can use the potential.
And lastly, can you talk about the powertrain architecture?
Sure. So we have 4 electric motors, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. Every motor has its own proprietary gearbox. We have a lot of very smart electronics on it. So we have torque vectoring that takes care of every motor, that is monitoring the forces on the car. Plus on top of that, we have a lot of passive and active safety on the car, so the car is always going where you point the steering wheel at. We have a very stiff monocoque structure, so we have basically the strongest monocoque in the automotive industry.
Wow. And it's all
yeah.
carbon fiber top.
Yes.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, it's all carbon fiber top, and it's not like just the how they call the cabin.
Right.
And then you attach the motors, but it's integrated. So the motors are integrated into the carbon fiber monocoque. So the monocoque basically starts from the front and also goes all the way to the back. So it's not attached to the monocoque. So it's a very safe car, but also at the same time very cleverly integrated technology inside.
So it's a good daily, is what you're saying.
It's a very good daily.
I think I just love that Rimac started with Mate, the CEO. Didn't he build an E30 electric? He built an electric E30 at 19 years old?
Yeah, and with 20 years of age, we started to build his own hypercar.
I love it. I want to build my own hypercar line one day. You heard it here first. I think I've talked about it before, but I cannot wait for the opportunity to drive this car, to drag race with this car, to do donuts with this car. I am very excited for Rimac as a company. I want to thank them for having me here before the world reveal of this car. This isn't a paid or sponsored video in any way, shape, or form. They are family to me, and when I got the opportunity to have an exclusive first look at this car, I had to say yes. You guys know me. I'm all about setting world records and really pushing the envelope of performance, and this is Rimac's specialty. This car will be breaking records. They can't announce that they have yet, but they will, very similar to how the Rimac Nevera did. So stay tuned for that. Ecrew, thank you for watching. We out here with love. Bye. Come take a look at this. It's in the very back. If you look closely, you will actually see that it says icebreaker. Get it? Internal combustion engine breaker.